The rain hammered against the windows of our little cottage in the Cotswolds, a relentless rhythm mirroring the anxiety thrumming in my chest. Emmett, a 46-year-old architect, had always prided myself on my ability to design spaces that fostered warmth and connection. Yet the very foundation of my own home felt like it was cracking beneath my feet. It had started subtly, almost imperceptibly. My wife, Willow, a vibrant and successful botanist, had become increasingly distant. Late nights at the lab, weekend conferences I couldn't attend, a general air of preoccupied detachment. I chalked it up to the pressures of her demanding career, the relentless pursuit of funding, the constant travel. I wanted to be supportive, understanding. After all, hadn't we always championed each other's ambitions? We had met in London, amidst the bustling energy of the city, drawn together by a shared love of art and a mutual appreciation for the quiet beauty of the natural world. Willow, with her fiery red hair and infectious laugh, had captivated me from the moment I saw her sketching in the Tate Modern. I was smitten. Our courtship was a whirlwind of gallery visits, picnics in Hyde Park, and late-night conversations that stretched into the early hours of the morning. 5 years later, we exchanged vows in a small, intimate ceremony surrounded by our closest friends and family. We moved to the Cotswolds shortly after, seeking a slower pace of life, a respite from the relentless demands of the city. I established my architectural practice, focusing on sustainable designs that blended seamlessly with the surrounding landscape. Willow found her dream job at a local botanical research center, studying the unique flora of the region. Our life felt idyllic, a harmonious blend of professional fulfillment and personal contentment. But now, the idyllic facade was crumbling. First real crack appeared a few weeks ago. I had been working late in my home office, poring over blueprints for a new eco-friendly housing development. I decided to surprise Willow with a cup of her favorite chamomile tea. As I approached the bedroom, I heard her voice, hushed and intimate, coming from the other side of the door. I paused, a sudden knot forming in my stomach. It wasn't a conversation with a colleague, it was something more. "I miss you terribly," she whispered. "I can't wait to see you again." My blood ran cold. Who was she talking to? And why did it sound so secretive? I stood there frozen for what felt like an eternity before finally retreating back to my office, the cup of tea trembling in my hand. I couldn't bring myself to confront her. Not yet. I needed to gather my thoughts to make sense of what I had just heard. Over the next few days, I became obsessed with uncovering the truth. I started paying closer attention to Willow's behavior, scrutinizing her every word, every gesture. I noticed the way she flinched when I touched her, the way she avoided eye contact, the way she seemed to be constantly checking her phone. I felt like a detective in a bad movie, consumed by suspicion and paranoia. One evening, while Willow was supposedly at a conference call with her colleagues, I decided to do something I had never done before. I went through her phone. I know. It was a violation of her privacy, a breach of trust, but I felt like I had no other choice. I needed to know. I needed to understand. The password was easy to guess: our anniversary date. I felt a pang of guilt as I unlocked her phone, but the guilt quickly dissipated as I began to scroll through her messages. There it was, a string of explicit texts and intimate photos exchanged with a contact saved under the name Liam Project Lead. The messages were sickeningly saccharine, filled with promises of undying love and clandestine meetings. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. The air was sucked out of my lungs. My vision blurred. Liam was a new addition to Willow's research team, a charismatic and ambitious young botanist who had been working closely with her on a groundbreaking new project. I had met him a few times at social gatherings, and I had always found him to be charming and engaging. Now I saw him in a completely different light. He was a predator, a home wrecker, a snake in the grass. The messages painted a clear picture of their affair. Secret lunches, stolen weekends, passionate encounters in hotel rooms. They had been seeing each other for months, right under my nose. I felt like a fool, a complete and utter idiot. How could I have been so blind? How could I have not seen these signs? I spent the rest of the night in a daze, replaying the messages over and over in my head, each reading a fresh stab wound. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't think. The world around me seemed to have lost its color, its vibrancy. Everything was gray, muted, lifeless. The next morning I confronted Willow. I didn't yell, didn't scream, didn't even raise my voice. I simply showed her the messages. Her face drained of all color. Her eyes widened in horror. She didn't deny it. She couldn't. The evidence was irrefutable. Emmett, I can explain, she stammered, her voice trembling. Explain what, Willow? I asked, my voice flat and emotionless. Explain how you could betray me like this. Explain how you could lie to me for so long. Explain how you could sleep with another man and then come home to me. She started to cry, tears streaming down her face. I didn't mean for it to happen, she sobbed. It just happened. I was lonely, Emmett. You were always so busy with your work. I felt neglected, unappreciated, neglected, I repeated, incredulous. Unappreciated. I bent over backwards to support you, Willow. I celebrated your successes. I comforted you during your failures. I loved you with all my heart. I know, she wailed. And I love you too, Emmett, I do. But Liam made me feel alive again. He made me feel wanted. He paid attention to me, so that's it, I asked, my voice barely a whisper. That's your excuse. You cheated on me because you felt unappreciated. You threw away our marriage, our life together, for a cheap thrill. She didn't answer. She just stood there, sobbing, her shoulders shaking. I walked away, numb. I couldn't bear to look at her any longer. I needed to get out of the house to escape the suffocating atmosphere of betrayal and deceit. I drove aimlessly for hours, the rain still lashing against the windshield. I thought about everything, about our past, our present, our future. I thought about all the dreams we had shared, all the plans we had made. And now it was all gone, shattered into a million pieces. As the days turned into weeks, I moved into the guest room, creating a physical and emotional distance between us. We barely spoke. The silence in the house was deafening, broken only by the occasional sob from Willow or the sound of me packing my things. I consulted with a lawyer, initiated divorce proceedings. It was a messy, painful process. Willow begged me to reconsider, promising to end the affair, to go to therapy, to do whatever it took to save our marriage. But I couldn't. The trust was gone, irretrievably broken. I couldn't forgive her. I couldn't forget. During the discovery phase of the divorce, I stumbled upon something even more shocking. Liam wasn't just having an affair with Willow. He was having affairs with several other women at the research center, preying on their vulnerabilities, exploiting his position of power. I felt a surge of anger, not just towards Liam, but towards Willow as well. She had been so blinded by her own desires, so consumed by her own selfishness, that she had failed to see the truth about him. She had been a pawn in his game, a victim of his manipulation. I decided to expose Liam. I gathered all the evidence I could find, emails, texts, photos, and I presented it to the director of the research center. Liam was immediately suspended, pending an investigation. The scandal made headlines in the local newspapers. His career was ruined. Willow was devastated. Not only had she lost her husband, but she had also lost her lover, and her reputation was tarnished. She was ostracized by her colleagues, shunned by her friends. She had lost everything. I felt a flicker of satisfaction, a sense of justice served. But it was a fleeting feeling. It didn't bring me any real happiness. It didn't erase the pain, the betrayal, the heartbreak. The divorce was finalized a few months later. We divided our assets, sold the cottage. I moved back to London, seeking a fresh start, a new beginning. I threw myself into my work, designing innovative new buildings, collaborating with talented artists and engineers. I started taking painting classes, rediscovering my love for art. I joined a hiking club, exploring the beautiful countryside surrounding London. I slowly began to heal, to rebuild my life. The scars of the betrayal would always be there, but they were fading, becoming less painful, less raw. One day I received a letter from Willow. She was working at a small botanical garden in Scotland, tending to rare and endangered plants. She had started volunteering at a local hospice, providing comfort and support to the terminally ill. She had found peace, she wrote, in helping others. She apologized for the pain she had caused me, for the lies she had told, for the betrayal she had committed. She didn't expect me to forgive her, she said, but she hoped that one day I would be able to understand. I read the letter with a mixture of emotions: sadness, anger, pity, and yes, even a hint of compassion. I didn't know if I could ever truly forgive her, but I knew that I had to move on. I had to let go of the past to embrace the future. I never remarried. I never had children, but I found happiness in my work, in my friendships, in my passions. I learned to trust again, to love again, to open my heart to the possibility of a new beginning. The rain has stopped now. The sun is shining, casting a golden glow over the Cotswolds. I am sitting in a small cafe, sipping a cup of tea, watching the world go by. I am at peace. I am free. The betrayal was a tragedy, a devastating blow to my life. But it didn't define me. It didn't break me. It made me stronger, more resilient, more compassionate. It taught me the importance of honesty, the value of trust, and the power of forgiveness. And for that, I am grateful.